Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Raptor Spiritus, and I'm back with another one. So it looks like we got some Evocati notes for the new 4.3.1. So let's see what they have going on. So just follow along with me. So under testing, focus, stability and bug fixes. When is it not? Right? Onyx Facility Part 3, only particularly in with further sections of Part 3 coming in later patch for the 4.3.1 PTU build. So it's not all there. I think from some of the other YouTubers, they have seen parts of it, but it's not fully there. So I know they can't really talk about it because they're under NDA, so or show anything. But so that's what's in the Evo patch. Med Gel. This thing is probably one of the most important things for this new gameplay, because med gels now will basically determine if you will respawn back into your med bed that is on your Metapin, your Medical Ursa, any of the ships that have medical beds like Polaris, I would think the Idris as well, and so forth. So these med gels basically if they're, I can't remember all the notes, but I think like if it's a tier 3, which is the lowest, you can respawn twice if it's a tier 3 bed. If it's a tier, I think 1 and 2, you can only respawn once, and these are per med gels. Now also the medical gels, which I think I saw a little picture of them. I think it's just the green gel that's in the medical gun. It's just now it's like packs of gel that you put in the little slots and at the little screen for the medical bed. So, and I do believe someone said that when you heal, it's going to take some of that away. So if you're constantly rehealing yourself with the medical bed, it's going to take some of that regen capabilities away. And if you do that, then you're going to have to replenish it if you want to make sure that you're going to respawn into that mobile medical area that you're in, whether it's on a ship or on a vehicle. So there's that. I'm not opposed to it, although I heard that each medical gel pack is $100,000, which is absolutely asinine. Like, you know, people grind really hard in this game to play, and not everybody, you know, is just a money hoarding fool where they're just making millions upon millions for kicks and gills. Not everybody. Some people just want to experience and explore. I'll be honest, guys. I'm only at like a 7 mil mark because really and truly, like all my other org mates, they salvage all the time. They mine all the time. One of my guys that mines, he's like at 15 million. Like, I mean, for me, it's cool, but I just, you know, I'm not that dedicated to it. As long as I have enough to buy what I need as far as like, you know, sustenance, ammo, you know, I don't really care too much about anything else. And then repairing my ship, obviously. So, you know, and I do some salvaging, some mining, but I'm not really like, you know, Scrooge McDuck focused on it, as we call it. So $100,000 for med gel that only will last you 2 respawns on a tier 3, or 1 respawn and then 1 healing for an injury on a tier 3. Like that's a lot, dude. I'm gonna need CIG to make that maybe 30,000. That makes more sense for what it is. Like, it just doesn't make sense for the amount of money you have to spend in game for regenning in a vehicle or something. It's for people that have bigger ships and stuff. That's gonna run them a fortune to keep up with all that, especially if you have org mates and you guys do any of that big battle stuff. That's gonna be crazy. So I really need I need CIG to come down on that money just a little bit, because it is crazy to have it at 100,000 whatever the currency is. AUEC, whatever. It's crazy. So moving along, dropships and watchtowers. So apparently with this, dropships in certain areas which you go in will keep coming in unless you disable the watchtowers. So I'm looking forward to that because it'll create, constant gameplay, a sense of urgency. So it's not like you can just wipe them out and they're good. They will keep coming in unless you disable those towers. So that's pretty neat. And then this is not ready for testing and feedback. The AI FPS turret. That I think is cool because again, I hope with the FPS turret, we're gonna see a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? A little more safe play for PvE missions. People are in it kind of more or less not to stop people from doing PvE, but really it's to stop griefers is what it is. So if that's what that is, I look forward to it because there's a lot of times there's places I want to go where I'm not trying to get in a battle with someone. I might be trying to explore something. I'm not trying to get in a gunfight. I just want to just explore and mind my business. So I can't wait to see that when it does come in. Additional hairstyles and beards. Okay, whatever. The Volt LMG Fresnil. It's called the Fresnil. That's cool, but I know a lot of people looking forward to that. They said because a few people were a little disappointed at some of the nerfs on the S55. Lately, I've been using the Damico. Really, I've been using that thing a lot, and so I enjoy using it. It's pretty cool. So I'm really excited to see what this Volt LMG is like. And I'm gonna tell you, Volt's coming out of the box swinging with stuff. It's just. I still use a lot of the old weapons, but the Volt lineup is actually really flipping good. So, I mean, it's just cool. Excuse me, I just got off work. I'm a little tired. And then the new Burying laser cannon art refactor. So they redesigned the Burying cannons. They look, actually, from the concept art, they look so much better. It gives it a lot more personality. Before it was just like this. It was like a box where the back of it was, and then the tip just kind of went to this little mediocre kind of slender type barrel. It didn't look like anything special, right? The attritions are very distinctive. MBDs are very distinctive. That's the kind of stuff, you want something that really stands out for the brand it is. And like I said, so I'm very happy that Barrington's redoing them. I would foresee, obviously, at least I would hope to see a weapons rebalance with them, because I mean, if they look like they hit hard and they hit like booty hole, it's like there's no point. So I hope they change some stuff. And honestly, talking about ship weapons, I've been hoping for a while that they would rebalance some things, because there's so much of a huge gap between attritions and everything else. Attritions not only have high HP, but they also have a high alpha, which is why there's the superior one. But there's got to be a little bit more balance between these weapons, I think, or characteristics and trade-offs. Maybe for the attritions like they used to be, the more you run them, the harder they start to hit because they start to heat up. Maybe MBDs have a little bit of distortion damage on them or something. Obviously, cannons are cannons. High alpha. Maybe they do a little bit more electrical damage or something. I don't know. I feel like and I know it's a work in progress. We all know that. But it still needs some work for the ship weapons. But I digress. And then it says known issues. I mean, there's always known issues, so I'm not really gonna go into that. So in this patch, the gameplay Onyx facilities used for the new investigation missions in 4.3.0 have been expanded to include mission content beyond the previous releases. This continues after completing the original 0 missions with a new mission that delves you further into the story. Then of course they talk about Medgel. things like that. Medical bed respawning in ships has undergone significant change to their function to balance their use. Ship medical beds will now require a resource that is used to respawn players and heal tier injuries. This is a brand new med gel resource that can be purchased in the medical facilities as an item the player can store and manually use each time the medical beds needs refilling. This resource does not come refilled in ship claims, so don't hoard a lot of gel on your ships, because if it blows up, you just wasted like hundreds of thousands of AUEC. Got it. Different tiers of medical beds will allow for different amounts of respawn before needing to be filled. This is what I was saying earlier. Respawning and healing tier injuries will be quite demanding, so so make sure you top off your medical beds to be sure you have enough to your next respawn, or you will be sent to your home location on death instead. So again, I don't really have a problem with this. What I have a problem with is the fact that apparently these medical gels are 100 grand a piece. Like, that's insanity, you know. And obviously I wouldn't have expected it to be in a reclaim when you reclaim your ship, but that's just, you know, if you do have a lot, that's a lot of money just down the tubes. And I don't think that that's really conducive of trying to implement the gameplay to make people have to do that. I mean, I know CIG has the direction, but, you know, don't make it so difficult for the players that it just really just ruins the whole point of using the med beds. So that's just my opinion. Dropships have been re-implemented into the persistent universe in Pyro. At various outposts across Pyro, dropships will spawn when the location population is reduced by a certain amount, i.e. they are killed. These dropships will spawn, land, deploy reinforcements, and then leave. The reinforcements should exit the dropship and search the area for hostiles. They should be allied to the local population. At each location are watchtowers, each of which has a terminal at the top. If the player disables all the terminals at a location, then no dropships will spawn. There are also missions that require the player to disable all its watchtower terminals at a given location. So this is cool because, you know, it does keep it coming, and it makes it more challenging. So if you are doing a mission somewhere, and or if you're just there to slaughter people for kicks and giggles, there really should be a response for it somewhere. And I would hope it's not just they should just do this anywhere. Maybe make it more indicative of the planets that they're on. Like, obviously for Microtech, maybe have some ships deployed that are they have the Microtech paint on it. Same thing for Crusader and Hurston and Area 18 or ArcCorp. You know, that would be kind of cool. You to see that, you know, to see all those skins that we had from the resource mission that we just had not too long ago actually playing out. Oh, excuse me. So again, I'm tired. I just got off work. I'm a little beat, so I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to that. I like when they start to challenge up some stuff. So just bug fixes and stuff and technical issues. So that's all for the Evocati patch notes. Now there's another one. Now, you know, as I'm growing in this whole YouTube thing, people get shadow notes from somewhere. So I don't know where that is, but I'm going to just close the window. I'm going to play a video that is basically going over those shadow notes
to take a look at.
So let's see the leaks. Okay, let's go here. All right, so I'll turn it up and let's see what's going on with that.
Okay, so first, for spoiler-related stuff, let's go over how we understand the medical gel with MedBen's function to be working right now.
Okay.
So, from of
You kind
course,
of, oh, here it is.
and that will foul canister.
So this is what I was talking about right here, where so one Medigel canister is 100,000 AUC. That's crazy, and provides one respawn, 100,000 refill. So it's going to be 100,000 for the canister no matter what, and if you can refill them apparently, and it's another 100,000, which is crazy. That doesn't make any sense. You buy for 100,000, you can't refill it for any cheaper. Like, that's crazy. Oh my god. Tier 1 and Tier 2 beds give 2 reses, so that means you get to respawn in those 2. 1 and 2, you get 2 times. Capacity is 200,000 capacity. Yay. Tier 3 gives you 1 res. You know, doesn't appear that Medgel is drained for any other reason. Okay, so that kind of, again, I'm not really thrilled about that, but you know, it is what it is at this point. So let's see what else is going on.
We'll have to see on that. Cosmetics, we have a few new things for Day of the Vara. There's going to be 3 sets of 3 helmets, all seemingly Fieldspray Dark Bear variants.
Okay, so if it's the same 3 bear heads as always, whatever. Halloween colors orange and black for Polaris, Saber, and Guardian. You know, okay. No big super things there, but it is what it is. Something about Twitch drops are coming. And the Vandal Blade AI. Okay, so moving along. New factions. This actually is something I'm very interested in, because now we're getting more groups in the game, which means more missions for these groups. Vandal Hunters, and then we already know about the Bounty Hunter Guild. There's a new one called an Intersect, and there's a new one called Shattered Blade. Now the Shattered Blade one sounds really cool. I'm actually pretty interested in that. But the Vandal Hunters, I'm curious about what that entails. The Vandal, obviously, that cracked out alien race that we were, people in the UEE are at war with. So I'm really excited about that. I'm curious, and hopefully this time around, it's not like the Splicers where they had such crappy armor. That's just random armor that we have. Hopefully there's something that really like makes them stand out. You know, like the Ninetales, at least they have variants of armor, but you know, I hope they have something. Maybe mix some armors up. You know, have some special colors for them, just like the Ninetales does, to separate them from the rest. So I'm looking forward to that. Where is it? Frontier Fighters finale. 3 phases with a choice between Headhunters and Citizens for Prosperity. That's cool. And some creature, Yormandi. I have no idea what that is. That's interesting. Let's see, anything else of worthy notes? Does not look like it. Maybe this? What is this? I hope that's not anything like armor that we're getting.
I believe one of the kind of the bad guy factions in Squadron 42. There's a lot of mentions to them in some of the footage and videos that we've got over the whole course of that development. So it's interesting that there's going to be a armor coming in from that company, but you can see here there's a couple of different angles of it. Very interesting looking armor. It's definitely quite
chunky
unique
looking.
It's very, very chunky, very, I don't know, maybe steampunk is the right word, possibly. Very, very mechanical, I guess.
Looks like something that came out of like the 80s. I don't know. I mean, when it's black and white like this, it's the rendering. It's not, you really, it can't really, it needs to be complete with color to bring it to life. But you know, these type of power suits as they look like, I don't know. I mean, like I say, it looks like a power suit, but it looks okay. But you look like a big clunky robot from like, you know, like Lost in Space or something. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But that is all for right now. So we'll have to wait and see. I heard somewhere that they were trying to push it to wave 1 and 2 or something like that today or tomorrow. I doubt it's going to happen. But we'll have to wait and see. But until then, it's your boy Raptor Spirit is. You guys stay safe out there in the verse, and I see you around the stars.